Do you guys have a go-to comfort food from your childhood?
Ratatouille? No.
Michael grew up in the French countryside.
Every time I have it, I get a little flashback sequence where I imagine coming in, having fallen off my bike, and my pastoral French mom has made me a bowl of ratatouille.
Hello and welcome back to Nostalgia Club. We are doing our recap episodes today where we talk about all the series and books and stuff that we talked about in this last season, which was season 4. And I'm Victoria, and I'm joined by
Jino!
And Michael.
Hooray! We actually aren't doing this recap like 4 months after we did the season this time.
Yeah,
This is
fresh.
This is a first. We are not taking as long of a hiatus as previous seasons, which was the goal.
Which means our takes are fresher, but there's less vintage.
Yeah,
that's true.
They're Tupperware in the fridge instead of Ziploc in the freezer.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Thanks.
If you haven't listened to any of our recap episodes before, don't worry. You can still listen and enjoy this one. We do recommend that you go back and listen to some episodes from this season because we're going to be talking about them, probably clarify things because a lot of our listeners actually wrote into us. And so we're going to be discussing some of your comments, any new developments or new thoughts or new questions that we thought of after we recorded the episodes. And yeah, and these are historically our most unhinged episodes also. There will be many tangents because that's just what we do. This is our chance to just like do whatever.
Just hang out. Yeah.
Little show.
Yeah.
Yap time.
Yap time.
Did someone say nap time?
And then we just nap. So for this episode, we're going to be covering the first half of season 4. So we're going to go from Ratatouille to the Goose Girl. And then the next episode, we'll talk about the rest.
Before we dive into our recap, something we started last season, Victoria, you started last season, is talking about things we're enjoying right now. We never, ever, ever talk about things we're enjoying right now. So recaps are the perfect time to dish about the present. And not
Yay!
sink into the quagmire that is nostalgia. Until we do. Michael, what you reading, watching? What you consuming?
Reading and watching and consuming. The most recent thing I consumed was a gummy pizza.
That's right. Right before we recorded this, we decided to all bring snacks to our recording session themed after the episodes that we've recorded. I've said the word recorded too much.
That's okay.
We brought in themed snacks, and Michael brought in some TMNT themed Lunchables gummy pizzas, and we ate some of them and chewed and swallowed them and theoretically are now digesting them, and they tasted.
Oh. The red number 5 lingers on my taste buds. The PVC protective coating. Victoria and Jino can attest to this. They made it virtually impossible to access the contents of the snack pack.
Yeah, it was really hard to access, which we were joking is probably because they wanted to make sure that kids weren't eating them unless their parents approved, which is fair. But it was really hard to open. Like, we had to stab the plastic with a fork.
Well, there was literally like a plastic sticker on it that sealed the package shut that said sealed.
Peel here.
Peel here?
Yeah.
I thought it said sealed for your safety.
There was on the front. On the box,
yeah.
there was one, and then on the actual like inside part on the plastic film, it said peel here, and there's like what's supposed to be like the small part of the plastic packaging that's slightly open, not open, but like you know what I mean. You know
accessible,
and you can peel open. And I tried for like a minute, and I was like, I can't do this. So I handed it to Michael, and Michael also couldn't do it. And we were just like, guess we can't eat these. Oh no! But then Jino was like, let's stab it with a fork. Anyways, we've had an adventure.
So now we're all full of calorie
and sugar
and nutrient.
Yay!
So yeah, Michael, what you reading? What you watching? Anything interesting?
Well, this will come up a little later, I'm sure, but I just finished the second Penderwicks book.
Nice!
Spoiler for season 5, but we will be doing another Penderwicks episode, which I'm very excited about.
Mm-hmm.
Does telling them that we will do an episode about a property but not giving them any information count as a spoiler?
I don't know.
Sorry, I'm being really pedantic. Is that the right word? I don't know. I am dumb.
No, you're not. Stop it.
Cut all this out.
The better question is, does anyone care? Right in. No, I'm sure. No, but I'm imagining like if any of our listeners, for example, were like, oh, they told us what one of the episodes was going to be. My fun is ruined. The mystery keeps it alive.
I mean, lots of people have been commenting that they want more Penderwigs episodes, and I have just told them when I responded. So
excellent.
They already know, probably.
The proof is in evidence.
Yeah.
And the reading is in progress.
Yes.
I also watched a series on Netflix called Sirens.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's based on a play, though I don't know. It's got Julianne Moore and Kevin Bacon has a role. Neither of them are, well, it's sort of an ensemble situation, but it's 5 episodes. It's quite good. You kind of have to watch the whole thing to sort of get what it's about, but all the characters are interesting. It's about a young woman who's taking care of her dad who has like dementia, and she's trying to get a hold of her younger sister who is sort of like the live-in assistant / best friend / surrogate younger sister mentee to this like fabulously wealthy woman, except it's more so her husband who's the wealthy one, and she's wealthy like from having gotten like married to him and has like this whole operation going at this like estate in somewhere in, I guess, New England or whatever. I'm not sure. This sister taking care of her dad goes to track down her sister and try and get her back. But it's a curious, somewhat eerie, but also funny, just situationally production. It's sort of hard to describe, but in ways that plays can be entertaining in ways that both disturb you but make you laugh. That's sort of what the show was, and I recommend it. I also recommend the second Penderwigs book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That show does sound haunting, perhaps.
Yes.
I mean, you said it was funny, but it does also sound like the setup to a classic horror movie.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it could have gone that way, but it's mostly really just like drama, interpersonal dynamics. Yeah, it's very interesting. Sirens.
What about you, Victoria?
I have been in a reading phase, so I'm reading a lot of books recently.
Nice.
I won't go into all of them, but let me pull up my reading app real quick so I can list out some of the books I've been reading, because I think they're good, and you should also read them if you're interested. So I read this book called There's No Such Thing as an Easy Job, which is a Japanese novel that's kind of like a vignette style. It's about this woman who gets really burnt out of her job. And then goes to basically like a job recruiter and is like, can you help me find a job? Something that's like a desk job that I can just like type a bit, or like minimal social interaction. Like she has like a few requirements, but it's mainly like she just wants like something easy where she can turn her brain off and not be too invested in her job, which I think like a lot of people our age can resonate with. Each vignette is a different job that she goes to, and each one is like haunting in a certain way. And at the end, she realizes that the purpose that she's looking for in her work is different than what she expected. It's like been on my list for a while, and I like was really like slow at getting around to it. Or like I started reading the first chapter and then like couldn't quite get into it, so I ended up returning it and then recently picked it back up again, and I quite enjoyed it. So I recommend that one.
Would you call that like comedic or more existential?
It was definitely existential. It's definitely a bit unsettling. Her job is just like a little bit weird, and you're just like, what is going on? And she's also like, I don't really know what's happening, but I'm here, I guess. It's hard to describe if you haven't read it. But yeah, I thought that one was fascinating. This is a brand new book that I happened to nab from the library, but it's a book called And They Were Roommates.
Oh, I wonder what that's about.
It's just like a fun like rom-com. It's very like cheesy and tropey, but like sometimes you just need that.
You know what? I think I saw this at Barnes & Noble recently.
It's good. Basically, there's this kid named Charlie. He's going to a new school. It's called like St. Valentine's Academy for Boys or something.
Of course it is.
Yeah. And so he goes...
St. Cupid's Academy.
He's supposed to have a single room, but something goes wrong with the paperwork, so he ends up getting a roommate. And at first he's like...
Classic.
Maybe at least my roommate will be someone tolerable. But then he finds out...
Someone tolerable.
He finds out that the roommate is his kind of ex. It's like a boy that he kind of had like a thing with like a few summers ago, but this boy doesn't recognize him because Charlie is trans. So he doesn't recognize him anymore. So then it's like this whole thing where like Charlie's trying to like he's starting to befriend this guy, but then he's like also trying to hide his secret, blah, blah. It's fun.
That does sound fun.
It does.
Yeah.
That Vine did so much work for our society and culture.
I was like initially intrigued by the title, and then I read the summary and I was like, oh, that sounds really fun. So
That sounds great.
yeah.
I have also been reading Penderwicks. I'm so excited for the next episode. Stay tuned for that. The only other thing I've been reading recently is Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive, which is a series of currently 5, eventually 10, theoretically. Very, very long, high fantasy novels. But don't let their length intimidate you because it's written in very easily digestible prose. It's not flowy, it's not fancy, it's not poetry or anything like that. It's very straightforward, and he does get a lot of flack for that because people are like, this isn't like high reading. This isn't worthy of fantasy. If a character has a thought, they just think it. If they have a feeling, they feel it. What is this? Where are my metaphors? But it makes it really digestible and easy to get through thousands and thousands of pages of politics and swords and magic and a very, very anxious woman. And it's good. I'm in the middle of the second book, and I highly recommend it. And it's the only thing I've read that's not for this show.
But again, it is a very long book.
It is a very long book.
That's valid.
It's taken me a few months to get through the first one and a few more to get to the point where I am in the second one. But it's real good. I guess I should describe what the Stormlight Archives is very briefly. Okay, to put it as simply as possible, imagine if the Mongol Empire, post-conquest of Asia, Genghis Khan has been assassinated, and his family is trying to turn this group of disparate Khanates who are all vying for power into one unified kingdom.
Sounds kind of like what happened after Genghis Khan died.
But also, they're on a magical fantasy world that is hit by a world-spanning hurricane every few days.
Every few days?
And so every single piece of ecology, every society and culture revolves around surviving these hurricanes while still living normal lives. And the hurricane's magical, and there are these people that are kind of popping up every once in a while who seem to be able to harness the magic of the hurricane. And it's called Stormlight, and that's why it's called the Stormlight Archives. That's the best I can do.
Sounds interesting.
My fun fact is that Henry Cavill, who plays The Witcher, Geralt, and also Superman at one point, is obsessed with these books. And he contacted the author and said, please, can I play the main character? And the author said, sorry, bud, he's Asian. And I went, oh, sick.
Hey! Respect. If you're turning down Henry Cavill.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool. It's okay. He's got like the whole Warhammer franchise to play. So
I mean, I guess it makes sense that the main character's Asian if it's like after the Mongol conquest.
Yeah, the main culture that we spent a lot of the book in is based off the Mongols. Specifically like a post-conquest Mongol empire who's like, they're like, how do we rule China now? What do we do here?
That's cool.
Everyone stop fighting. We have to grow wheat. Should we get into recap?
Yeah, let's get into the nostalgia part of the Nostalgia Club recap episode. So the first episode that we talked about last season was Ratatouille. What an excellent episode. Sorry to everyone who probably felt hungry after listening to it.
I know I did. Okay, I think we have a few things to talk about here. But one thing that we forgot to mention at all during the recording that we only talked about in the parking lot as we were leaving the building, and that I really want to touch on here is, what happens to Linguini when Remy takes control? What is his perspective like? Because we can see in the movie that he's able to sort of like wrestle for control of his bodily autonomy when Remy is in control, but eventually he sort of just gives in and lets Remy puppeteer.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going through his brain? How does that feel to his body? Is he just zoning out? Is he in his mind palace? Does it feel weird when his muscles move without his control?
I would imagine that he almost has to enter a somewhat meditative state.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, it will feel weird to have no control over your limbs. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you have to, like, actively, like, say, like, hey, I'm taking a back seat, and you're just gonna do whatever. But like, he's still like aware.
He's aware.
Yeah.
But like, kitchen shifts are long. He's cook. He's head chef at some point. He's working like 12, 13.
To be fair, I don't think Linguini actually did that many. During the movie, he doesn't actually do that much cooking. He does a lot more running around.
But like, I mean, it's sort of implied that he does a few days, at least
That's
a
true,
few days of like being head chef or at least a lead chef. And so he's spending like well over half the day in Remy land, being Remied. That's got to be
being Remied.
That's
wow.
got to do something to your psyche, right?
Well, whatever it did, I don't think it was especially calming from a meditative perspective because he becomes, I don't know, I don't see him entering like a more and more enlightened state throughout the movie.
Yeah, he's sort of
just kind of a
deteriorating.
guy. Yeah.
Maybe he just spends all that time thinking about Colette.
Maybe.
That's, I don't know if I want to think about that. Just this like dead-eyed Linguini moving passively through the kitchen.
No, but I don't know. We don't know much about this guy's life outside of the kitchen, so.
I'm just imagining it's monotonous to the point of torture.
Yeah, well, it seems like there's a certain amount of engagement that he does anyway. It's like when Remy first grabs at his hair and like heaves and you see his arms kind of prop up in the air, but they're held aloft as if by strings, like he's a puppet.
Yeah.
So I think he still has to engage like some of his finer motor skills
That makes sense.
and like pick stuff up and whatnot.
Specifically when like he's walking, mainly Remy is just like turning him directions. So I assume he's like, okay, I'm walking. And he's just going to walk. And then Remy will be like, go left.
I think it's like a one-wheel situation where you're going to lean. Like Remy leans up top and Linguini just kind of staggers whichever way he's leaning.
What fascinates me is, because usually Remy's just using like the two main like bunches of hair, but occasionally he'll like pull other parts of Linguini's hair. And you're just like, how does this match up to various limbs or whatever? I don't know.
Is it like that Chinese medicinal theory that every part of your body's connected? And
like
so
acupuncture?
Yeah, like so if you want to heal like your shoulder, maybe there's a point on your foot that you have to deal with. Maybe it's like that before.
Maybe.
Linguini's
But it's
head.
all in the hair.
It's all in the hair.
Somewhere out there in China, there's like one acupuncturist who's like, I figured it out. The head can control I mean, technically your head can control.
I figured it out. There's an organ in the head that directs our thoughts.
For years, we thought it was just filled with meat. Just dense, insentient meat.
I don't like that.
And all the important stuff was in the feet.
Oh, God.
That's why, you know, when you need to think, you go on a walk. So you get the thinking juices in the feet going.
This is, it's like that meme, like, this is what Greek philosophy was like.
My point is that I think it was fine. It was probably closer to a Toothless Hiccup situation than like a...
That's true, because when Hiccup helps Toothless fly, there is a little bit of like, Toothless has to give up some autonomy.
Yeah.
It's a tandem thing.
Yeah.
They have to get used to how the other operates and what like the intuition is based off of what's happening.
So when we ride horses, are we just Remying the horse?
Maybe to a degree.
I mean, so when you ride horses, like you do communicate with the horse with like the bridle, and then also like you use your legs to like direct the horse.
Yeah.
You're not controlling the horse though. But you're just like saying like, horse, go here. You guys know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
So you're not Remy's not
puppet.
controlling the Linguini. He's just saying Linguini,
Well,
go
no,
here.
but it's different because like in this case, like Remy does have to technically control Linguini because Linguini doesn't have the skills necessary. Like you could say like, oh, if like Linguini's knife skills get better, then like Remy could just be like, okay, and now we're gonna chop onions, and now we're gonna chop tomatoes.
I think it's more so, well, it's a little bit of that, but I think it's also Linguini doesn't have like the knowledge to know what to do.
Exactly.
So like he can maybe get better at chopping things.
Yeah.
And like Remy can get better at controlling him as he chops things. But if Remy wasn't there to direct him like what to grab, he'd just be like,
Yeah.
oregano?
Yeah.
More oregano?
My thought is like probably like when we see Linguini and Remy in the movie, that's like mostly like Remy's in control. But then let's say if they hadn't gotten exposed and this went on for longer, I think eventually over time, Linguini would develop his own kitchen skills. And then maybe Remy wouldn't have to like manually chop everything. He could just be like, all right, now we're chopping this. And then now we're going to go get this and like throw it in the pot or whatever. I don't know.
Are you assuming that he can communicate with Linguini in any way other than like nods and
I forgot he can't actually talk to Linguini.
yeah, the most he can do is either physically
but
control
like
him.
I mean like Remy can still like direct him to like grab things.
Okay, like
but I'm saying like he maybe doesn't have to like do like the manual chopping motions with the hair that he does.
Right, like if there's things that they've made often and Linguini's familiar enough with the process, then it's like, oh, we're making...
Anyone can cook, Michael, even Linguini.
Well, the movie proves that wrong.
I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking this.
Were there any other Ratatouille? I feel like there were other Ratatouille things we wanted to talk about here. I can't
yes.
remember.
Well, okay. I have a couple things. One is I watched a video recently where a French chef reviews scenes from Ratatouille, which was fun because I was thinking about like how when we talked about Madagascar, Jino mentioned like there's a video where like a sushi chef reviews sushi scenes in movies. So I was like expecting this one might be equally silly, but actually this French chef was like really like impressed by the movie. I assume he's seen Ratatouille because it's been out for a while.
I've seen this video too.
Okay, yeah, it's great,
Our
right?
algorithms are...
I also sent it to you guys.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, now I feel better.
Our
I was
algorithm, the DMs.
I'm manipulating your algorithm by sending you things. No, he was basically like, this scene is really accurate. Like, the kitchen looks like it would. But he was overall just like, yeah, that was a good scene. Like, his only critique for, like, the soup making scene, which is very, like, unrealistic, obviously. Like, Remy's running around, like, throwing stuff into this pot. He was just like, I wish Remy would have tasted the soup. Like, you can't just, like, know if the soup tastes good if you just smell it. Because in that scene, all Remy does is he smells the soup.
Yeah,
and
but
he's
he's
like,
using his supernatural rat powers.
That's true, he is a rat. But, like, when it got to the scene where, because we always talk about, like, the freaking, like, sanitizer scene, where, like, all the rats are in the kitchen. And so I was really excited to see what he would say about that. But he was also just like, yeah, like, I think Remy's doing a really good job of demonstrating what, like, a head chef does, which is, like, you want to make sure, like, you have that quality control. And he was like, yeah, it's good that he's tasting now. He also commented on like when Colette is teaching Linguini how to cook, he was like, yeah, like it's really important to keep your station clean and blah, 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 all this stuff. So that was fun.
Nice. He just didn't want to admit that all the rats would have died in the in the sanitizer.
Maybe that landed on the cutting room floor. Like he saw it and just without skipping a beat, went, they're all dead.
They're all dead.
He obviously went in just being like, I'm just going to like give us like a good faith, like suspend disbelief review instead of sitting here being like, well, obviously these rats can't. He did talk about like experiences with health inspectors where he says like, yeah, like health inspectors are scary. So what we do is we like have pictures of the health inspector all up. They did this in the movie. Like they have a picture of like what the health inspector looks like. And he's like, yeah, that's accurate because we have them in the front and the back. And then we tell the people at the front, like, if you see this person, hold them. Tell us immediately and then just distract them for as long as possible so that we can clean up the kitchen a bit.
It's got to be fun to be a health inspector and like walk in and they see you and you make eye contact. You're like, oh, you're
So,
just like if they're like, oh, and you're like, you got to meow all this out. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That just makes me think of your health inspector story, Jino.
We can't tell that.
This might have real world consequences if I say this. Let's just say me or someone I know worked at an establishment that may or may not have served food. And maybe we were warned the health inspector was coming. So we cleaned up a little bit. And perhaps me or this friend was surprised to watch the health inspector walk into the establishment, walk through the establishment, and then walk out of the establishment. And that was our inspection. And maybe some money had changed hands under the table, and maybe I'm just assuming, and maybe you should cut all this out.
I feel so much better about eating outside now.
Of a hypothetical venue, Victor.
Yeah.
Other Ratatouille follow-ups. Jino, your friend emailed us and informed us that, because we were talking about like the dish in Ratatouille.
Oh, yeah.
And how like it may or may not be like a new dish that so we were wrong. It wasn't like created for the movie, but
the quote unquote ratatouille.
The way that they make ratatouille, where they like lay out all the like sliced vegetables. So apparently it's called tian, If you look up pictures of it, Tian, it is just like a vegetable dish that looks like ratatouille. This is where I like got a little bit confused because like in the French chef video, he didn't reference that dish as like, it reminds me of something else. He was just like, oh, the way that they made ratatouille in this one, they made it a lot more refined for like a fine dining experience, blah, 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 making sure all the vegetables are uniform. And so it's possible that these two dishes look similar, but the way that they're cooked makes one ratatouille and one tian. I don't know. I'm not a French chef. If any French chefs are listening and want to inform us more about this. But I was like, I thought that was a cool fact.
It was Mitra sent that in, right?
Yeah.
Hi, Mitra. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening and writing into the show.
I hope you're having a great day.
I hope you're eating ratatouille.
Yeah.
Or tian, whichever you prefer.
Whichever. Both sound good. Both are probably good.
I love vegetables.
Yeah. My last Ratatouille follow-up question, which I was just curious about, was, do you guys have a go-to comfort food from your childhood?
Ratatouille? No.
Michael grew up in the French countryside.
Every time I have it, I get a little flashback sequence where I imagine coming in, having falling off my bike, and my pastoral French mom has made me a bowl of ratatouille. And then I snap back to reality, an old and curmudgeonly man with a very refined palate, and rediscover anew, all over again, the value of
recently,
cooking.
Anton Ego has resurfaced as a meme on the internet.
In no small part thanks to
because
your
of us.
YouTube short, I'm sure.
No, it's just like people like talking about things that they do, but like heavily emphasizing words like how Anton Ego does in that scene. This is a really bad example because I'm making it up off the top of my head. But like, for example, it'd be like, I don't just write. I outline. I develop character. Like, it's like that. Like, it's
No, that's
really
really
funny.
good. That's good.
I don't pee. I urinate.
You gotta leave that in, Victoria. That's clippable. You could clip that. That would do numbers on Instagram.
no.
You can't cut that out. You have to leave it in. I'm going to reference that now for the rest of the podcast, so you have to keep it in for context.
No, please don't. I will keep it in, but please don't.
I don't. I defecate. Sorry. Oh, no.
I don't. Wait, I'm trying to think of how his lips move. I'm thinking YouTube short-minded now. I got to get out of here.
No, don't think. Don't
Ejector seat.
I don't sleep. I overdose on melatonin. Anyway, comfort foods from our childhoods? Mine's a bottle of melatonin. I'm kidding.
You know what? You know what's nice? I have memories of like coming home from school on like a Friday and having like a cup of Ovaltine, but heated up so it's like hot chocolate.
Ooh.
And you put a little whipped
Ovaltine.
cream on top. It's just
My
so
dad
nice
loves
because you're like,
Ovaltine.
I got the weekend ahead of me. And if it's like an overcast day in particular.
What is...
Ovaltine?
I'm assuming it's a chocolatey thing because
Yeah, yeah.
of the context clues.
Oh, I've aged 10,000
No, it's like
years.
it's a European drink, right?
Ovaltine.
Oh my gosh, guys.
It's a brand of milk flavoring product made with malt extract sugar, except in Switzerland, and whey. Some flavors also have cocoa.
Oh,
God.
delicious.
Haven't you ever seen A Christmas Story?
Like,
No.
which...
No? With
Hey.
Ralphie and the Red Ryder BB gun? That no?
You're losing me again.
All right.
We're talking about Elf or...
It's called A Christmas Story.
Okay.
It's a good movie. I'm just feeling old because for me it was like, just a part of the set dressing of my understanding of groceries. So when you're like, Ovaltine, is that something like, and I was like, oh no, is this me becoming irrelevant?
No, this is me not knowing things.
I do think, like, when I was growing up, most of my friends didn't know what Ovaltine was. Because usually they drank, like, Swiss Mix or whatever.
Nesquik.
that's
Yeah,
true, that's
Nesquik.
fair.
Yeah.
I am the relic, then.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure, like, my dad drank it because he's from Hong Kong. They have a lot of British products.
Is it a British food?
It's a registered trademark of Associated British Foods.
That's how the British name
It's made
foods.
by the same company that owns, like, Twinings tea.
Don't they also
Huh.
have digestive biscuits? Another incredibly
Probably.
appetizing name for a cookie.
Oh, yeah.
Digestives.
Digestives.
Ovaltine is not as sweet as like Swiss Mix.
Mm.
So when I first tried it, I actually didn't like it.
But I do like malt flavor.
Yeah.
It is malty.
For me, hey mom, I could say the homemade mandu that we also used to make as a family. But if I'm being totally honest, it's the restaurant quality jjajangmyeon that we used to buy all the time. And they used to make it saltier, and you would get a little side dish of like pure jjajang paste that would make it saltier.
Ooh.
But recently, they've been adding more sugar to it to cater to like a younger, like American-centric palate. And I don't like that. I want mine salty. I want it fermented and salty. I don't like this new sweet jjajangmyeon. Give me the old stuff, please.
That's valid.
That's my mid-20s man yells at cloud moment.
Have you considered adding Ovaltine?
How dare you?
My one solution. That sounds really good, but I think you could do a little better if you just added some dry Ovaltine.
Yeah, because that'll make it less sweet.
What about you, Victoria?
I think mine is...
Come on, say Ovaltine. I'm kidding. I'm done now.
Do you get paid by the... Are you sponsored?
by Ovaltine.
Let me just check off my list here.
The requirements are you have to mention Ovaltine like 15 times.
What, Ovaltine?
Yeah.
Are we talking about Ovaltine? It's 27.
I think one is like boxed mac and cheese is pretty nostalgic for me. I would say ultimate comfort food is this dish called tongsamfan in Cantonese, but it's basically just like elbow macaroni in chicken broth.
I've heard of this.
With ham. Or sometimes people use Spam, or you can put chicken or like whatever. And then some people put like those like frozen veggies like peas and carrots or whatnot. But it's great for if you're like sick because you can just make it really fast and it's like warm and comforting and it always makes you feel better. It's like how a lot of my friends growing up were like, oh, whenever I'm sick, I eat chicken noodle soup. And it's like, this is basically chicken noodle soup, but like it feels different.
Yeah.
Anyways, now I'm going to be hungry because I'm thinking about...
We shouldn't have started with Ratatouille.
Yeah. We talked about Ratatouille for a long time.
Actually, if you're hungry, we have a really great gummy pizza outside.
I was going to say, we are prepared.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so we talked about Ratatouille quite a bit, so let's move on. The next book that we talked about was Divergent.
Oh.
Yeah.
Any Divergent news? Are they remaking Divergent yet?
This just in, I have no idea. Will they?
I don't think they will.
Well, here's a question. The big YA crazes, are they remaking any of those? Are they remaking Twilight at all?
They are remaking Twilight. We talked about this in a previous episode, I think.
I feel like we did.
They have been talking about remaking Twilight, but I haven't heard any movement about that.
I feel like Divergent has definitely faded out of the public consciousness a bit.
Yeah.
That episode did well, though. A lot of people enjoyed hearing our thoughts about Divergent.
We had a lot to say.
So we should
I think it was almost our longest episode of the season. This season was really long, guys.
Hats off to Victoria for editing truly so much audio of us just yapping and going off topic and her desperately trying to save us from public embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun, though. It was good stuff. But I think we've said more than enough about Divergent.
I don't know. We could read the rest of them.
We could read the rest of them.
Let's not.
I think our opinions are still firmly rooted in, like, not a great book, but also get your bag,
and
Veronica
also,
Roth.
like, I did enjoy it as a kid. So, like...
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people did.
Yeah.
So how many fears do you have, Michael? Give me a solid number.
Solid number. I'm just imagining...
You have to seriously consider
No. I'm just imagining, like... a character like 4 cataloging up to like 269 fears and being like starting off at the top like my abusive father and I don't know the dark or enclosed spaces and then by like 173 he's like when you like go to put on your shoes and you're like is there a spider in there?
The trials, do they do one scenario for every fear?
Is that
how that went?
No, I was literally just thinking that. I was like, if you have a lot of fears, you're in the fear landscape for longer.
And then it's not fair to you because you're just exhausted.
Maybe they time it based on how long it takes you to conquer each fear.
Maybe
and
it's
not just
like
the overall. Like it's like Triss or like 4 takes like, let's say 5 minutes. And then another person who has 10 fears takes like 15 minutes. But maybe it's more about like how long did it take you to conquer each individual? I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's not like every single individual fear calculated, but the kind of stuff that takes up the most space in your mind.
I guess.
Because, I mean, I think we're all to some degree, you know, like, oh, I don't want to get in like some kind of vehicular accident or anything. Which applies in the Divergent world, but we don't see each of them having to go through their own version of like...
I mean, I think that makes sense. Like, any of the fears mentioned in the books are usually like big fears. Like, fear of heights is a big one, or like fear of hurting your family.
What if they all had to go through a simulation that was public speaking?
Yeah, like what if your fear, like how granular, because you're saying like, oh, big fears, right?
Yeah.
But Michael, you're saying like how much space in your head does the fear take up? So if you have someone who is, as per mentioned, really, really afraid of public speaking.
That definitely would have been in my fear landscape when I was in college,
but
high
only
school.
in specific scenarios. Like public speaking in front of my family, that's fine. Public speaking in like...
Is that considered public speaking though?
No, I guess not. But like, you know, that's you know how like if I go into my fear landscape and then I spend 10 minutes like trying to get over like being rejected by someone, and then the scenario changes, and now in this version I was accepted, but now the relationship's not going well. Right? Like these are two separate but similar fears. Right?
There's like a whole like a half a life plays out in the fear landscape.
Or like your fear's like, I've become my father. It's just like, hi, Dad, you're great.
It ends in the fear landscape when you've gone out to get fear landscape cigarettes.
Or does it get really meta? Like one of your fears is failing the fear landscape. You go to the fear landscape, but then you open your eyes and you're standing in front of the fear landscape. And you have to walk into that.
I do think that would be one of my fears. If I lived in that world, I'd be like so anxious about failing like the trial or whatever. That's really funny.
Fear landscape is you failing your fear landscape.
You just incept into deeper fear landscapes.
And then if we go like Inception, one level deeper, what if your fear is getting trapped in a fear landscape loop?
Because you're aware of this phenomena, so your fear
it
is
happened
getting...
to you once, and it was traumatizing. So like everyone watching, and the judges are just watching like some poor kid just like screaming like in a fetal position, like But from his mind, he's just falling through fear landscape.
I think they just have to end it and be like, you fail, and then you become like, you have to leave Dauntless or whatever.
The judges can see it, right?
I guess.
The judges can see it, but the audience can only see the person like reacting to this virtual world. So like the judges are sitting there forced to watch this like psychedelic Doctor Strange like fear landscape infinity castle like falling through the void. I think that would be great for an adaptation.
I'm crying. It's so funny.
Now I'm just thinking of like those absurd things where it's like fear of palindromes or whatever. And there's just someone like hands around their head as like palindrome words spiral around them.
Race car. That's a palindrome, right? Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Same forwards
I'm
and
pretty
backwards?
sure, yeah.
Fear of striped shirts. Fear of being bitten by a sea turtle. We could go all day just listing granular fears. Fear of uploading the wrong podcast episode to the feed.
So true.
Fear of sending the wrong resume on the application form. I guess, do you shoot the computer? That's got to be the solution, right?
They do have guns in a surprising number of these simulations.
And as we can see, Triss has shot the sea turtle and is moving on to confronting her parents about her.
I'm just imagining like Erudite's like, okay, we want to make Dauntless soldiers, so let's like try and like convince them that every fear they have to conquer by like shooting it with a gun. But then like one person's like all their fears are just like paperwork or like
just like blasting apart files.
They're like, I don't know if this is accomplishing what we wanted to.
My fear is being manipulated by Erudite. Get that one out.
Oh my gosh, I'm crying. Let's move on to the 39 clues.
The bad juice.
The bad juice. So for this one, we actually got some listeners who wanted to clarify some things for us. I won't read all of their comments, but thank you to the people who did write in. So I'll just read some of the notable comments. One person said there actually are 39 books, because this was a point of contention for us, whether there were 39 books or not.
Hooray!
They said the main series is composed of the first 10 books. Then there's 6 Cahills versus Vespers. There's 4 Unstoppable books, 4 Double Cross, and then there's one final book that makes 25. But then they said if you count Vespers Rising, the 6 Cahill files, which are like short ebooks about historical Cahills, and then there's 7 rapid fire books, which are short stories that were only physically published in East Asia, then that makes 39.
Whoa. 39? Wow.
I was surprised how granular they had to get to accomplish that 39 number. They being the publishers.
Yeah. They're like,
assuming that was
close.
the plan.
Yeah.
I do like that there's a little bit of like if you want to read all 39, you kind of have to go on your own little treasure hunt to get a hold of them.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you actually have to hunt around for the 39 books or
I imagine
stories.
there was like one like editorial assistant who was still attached to the 39 Clues project. Was like, guys, we only need 7 more books to hit 39. And they're like, well, let's see if our branch in China wants any books. They're like, as long as we get those 7 out.
Yeah, it's very important.
We promised Rick. We can't let him down.
Someone left us a very long comment, literally like just going through the episode and reacting to certain things. First, they said like the 39 Clues wiki is really inactive and unregulated, so take anything with a grain of salt. However, I did want to highlight this one fun fact they shared, which is that the Jonas brothers are highly trained Janus agents from the wiki. So they said like if the wiki is to be believed, I know I already said it was kind of untrustworthy, which I thought was funny.
The Janus
The Jonas brothers.
Janus.
The Janus.
Janus.
They had a little comeback for a little bit.
Yeah.
Jonas, Janus.
And there was a series of divorces or something.
Yeah. Thank you for commenting and correcting some things for us.
Yeah.
I just like lore dumped on you guys, and I'm sure so much of it was inaccurate.
Yeah. To be clear, a lot of the times when we are talking about these old properties, we're pulling from our personal recollections and understandings of them.
And Wikipedia.
And Wikipedia. Like, only recently have we decided to become more researched, which is we probably should have done that sooner. Like, Victoria's sort of the champion of actually looking things up. But even
I mostly use Wikipedia, so like, let's not I'm not like doing like crazy research.
Anything we say, take with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Our opinions or fractured memories aside.
And we have been wrong, and we will be wrong again.
But it's nice to be wrong in a venue in which someone else can be right and then post that rightness somewhere accessible to a listener.
I mean, that's what I love about doing this show is like you get to revisit things that you haven't thought about in a long time. And then you meet other people who are like, yeah, I also was obsessed with those. And let's talk about it. So it's great.
Yeah.
Okay, after the 39 Clues was Teen Titans.
Teen Titans.
Anyone have follow-up Teen Titans stuff? Because I have follow-up Teen Titans stuff.
Superman
came out. It was good. The Teen Titans are not in
Superman.
But
maybe if Superman does well, then DC will be like, let's make more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? We could get... Wait, wasn't there a Teen Titans live-action TV series on the CW or something?
There was.
For like a hot minute?
It's where Robin said, Batman.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then everyone was
like, whoa, that's crazy. And then I guess someone watched it.
I didn't even know that existed.
It was...
I mean, it seemed like, it was going for a dark Teen Titans kind of thing.
It's interesting, like the DC Universe television department either goes like an Arrowverse where everyone's kind of like chipper and there's a villain of the week and there's a lot of crossovers and everyone's like, there's a lot of interpersonal drama, but it's also like very positive and hopeful. And then you have like the Teen Titans version of that where everyone's like really dark and gritty and emotional and I hate my dad. I hate my adopted dad. Saving the world all the time. Makes me punch people. Just want to punch people.
There were 4 seasons of this?
Oh.
Damn.
Hey, power to them.
Yes, yeah. Superpower.
Superpower to them. Except if you're Robin.
Yeah, you just punch and kick.
Punch and kick and hit your dad.
Slade! I'm gonna get you, even if you're just in my brain.
I'm gonna throw you into a trash compactor, Slade.
What happens to Slade? Oh yeah, he gets crushed.
Really?
It's implied at the end of season 2 when he manipulates another teenager into trying to get the Titans named Tara. He manipulates her into screwing with the Titans, and then he does something to like use her like earth powers to try and create like an earthquake, but she does like a heel face turn at the last second, and I think she perishes and he also perishes. So he's crushed under like several hundred metric tons of like earth. And then he returns later on.
Boo.
He's literally brought back from the dead by DC Satan.
Oh.
Trigon.
What? Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
I
see.
was like, who?
Freaking Trigon, man.
Yeah. There's like a whole freaking arc in Teen Titans later on where Trigon actually does the thing where he like comes through the dimensions to, I don't know, do whatever he wanted to do to the earth. And it's like the environment is literally like the apocalypse. The ocean is lava. The city's absolutely like wrecked as far as I can tell.
Dang.
There's a point where Robin has to team up with Slade because Slade wants to be freed from his bondage. And I think he gets the better of him. But yeah, it's like Robin and Raven, and I think they have to like free the rest of the Titans at a certain point. I remember watching it when I was a kid and being like, how the heck are you going to do this?
This is in the series?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's not even like the ultimate like the last season they made. It's like season 4 when
casually
Satan
the
took over the world.
Almost ended.
Yeah.
Dang.
And then they figure it out as they do.
As they do. That's what heroes are for.
I suppose so.
What's your Teen Titans news?
So I read the new graphic novels.
Ooh.
The ones written by Cami Garcia and illustrated by Gabrielle Piccolo. And they were cool. They were neat. They were very fun. I don't know a lot about like the Teen Titans like origin story. I know we like talked about it a bit, but I don't like know the deep lore about all of these characters. So I think in this one, well, okay, I like briefly looked up what people like were saying online about it, and some people were like unsure if like Starfire is an alien in this one or she's just human, because a lot of them are just like regular teens. Like for example, Beast Boy, he's human, and it's just that his parents were like biologists who like went on like an expedition when he was a baby, and then he got sick, so they ended up like injecting him with some experimental drugs to like help him heal, but then that ended up giving him some potential like ability, so then they had him like take like, they called it his supplements, but it was like a drug that like repressed some of the potential like superpowers that he could have developed. At the beginning of his book, he's like frustrated because he feels like he's not like growing. He's a lot shorter than his peers, and he's like trying to bulk up, but like he can't. And then his friends are like, have you been following the diet that we like suggested you try? And he's like, yeah. And they're like, are you eating anything outside of that? And he's like, well, I have my like vitamin supplements. They're like, try not taking those, because that might be like messing with like your macros or whatever. He does grow, like he grows overnight, and he's like, oh, this is awesome. But then he also like starts like spontaneously turning into animals he has no control over at the beginning. Then like the overall plot is like Slade is like going after like these teens to try and recruit them for some kind of like experiment something. Like he's like, oh, like we're tracking all these like teenagers who are exhibiting signs of having superpowers, and we're trying to round them up.
That seems pretty accurate to the origin story I know.
Okay.
Except maybe not so like teenage drama.
Yeah.
And more like, I'm going to be a hawk now. But like the whole like parents were naturalists and injection. And that seems accurate. Or not, I guess accurate isn't the right word. That seems to line up with a lot of other interpretations I've seen.
Oh, cool.
There is no accurate in comic books. There's only, what are they doing this time with them?
That's true. Yeah. I think they're still coming out with more, but I've read all the ones that have been published thus far.
It's like 5 of them, right?
Yes, there's one about Raven, one about Beast Boy, one about Beast Boy and Raven, one about Robin's younger brother, whose name I forgot.
Damien?
Damien.
Yes.
I know things.
There's a lot of Robins.
But Robin, like,
you're really chewing through these young wards.
Dick Grayson is in the books, but it's like mostly like Damien is the first one to link up with Beast Boy and Raven, I think. That's what happens. It was a while since I read these, and then like Starfire is living with her sister and her mom, and then her mom's about to like get remarried or something, so there's like drama. Cyborg is like doing an internship. Like Starfire meets Cyborg because because in the graphic novel for Starfire, she has Wow, the word flew out of my brain.
Ehlers-Danlos?
Yes.
Ehlers-Danlos?
Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Yeah.
She has EDS.
Okay.
So Slade basically like tricks her into like going in for like tests by saying like, oh, we're doing a program where like we're trying to help people with EDS, so if you could come and like do some tests for us, that'd be great. And so she goes, and then Cyborg like works at the same place, and then so she meets Cyborg, and then they like bond over like, oh, like we both have disabilities, cool, you know. Yeah. There was like some contention online of people being like, should Starfire have EDS if she's an alien? And I was like, I think it's fine. Like, I think you guys are making too big of a deal about it. But, like, I think it's great to have that representation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a new interpretation.
It's a new version of Starfire.
Yeah.
It's an interesting line that people will draw. Like, she's basically a human in every recognizable way.
Yeah. They're like, well, she can't have, like,
she's an
human
alien.
illnesses if she's an alien. And I was like,
Relax.
okay, guys.
No, that's really great. I'm glad they're good.
Yeah, they're fun. I recommend. After Teen Titans was Haikyuu.
Haikyuu!
Haikyuu!
Wow.
Hello, Haikyuu fans.
Hello, Haikyuu.
We know you've skipped to this part of the episode, and we're sad to tell you we have nothing more to say to you. Just kidding. We're absolutely going to do more Haikyuu stuff. Thank you to the person who reached out to us telling us how to access the Haikyuu stage plays.
Yes. I haven't gone through the process of rewatching the stage plays, but I'm very excited that there's a place where you can like get all the subtitles, and that's great because I think it's easier to find the videos, but the videos often don't have subtitles, so this fixes the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know. What do you do? They hit the ball, they win the game. It's all you need.
It's true. I guess like you could get a general idea of, because it's basically just what happens in the show.
Yeah, but the dance.
Yeah. Also, thank you to the people who wanted to make sure that we watch seasons 3 and 4 correctly, which is to say we watch season 3 and then there's 2 special episodes that we gotta watch in between, and then watch season 4.
Okay.
Did not know this.
I told you guys.
Well, I
You didn't know before.
Yeah.
I've already started rewatching season 3, so I'm very excited to talk about more Haikyuu in season 5 of our show. Wow, so many season names and numbers. But yeah. A lot of people were like really glad that we talked about Suki's arc and like Suga, obviously. So I was like watching season 3 and I was like, there's still more to talk about. Yes. I saw so many things to say.
Well, we reach Suki's like
It's so good.
ultimate moment.
Did she get super powerful and
Where he
Yeah, his
gains
hair gets even
superpowers.
blonder and it spikes up and he goes, ah! Well, the last part's right.
Spoiler. I guess Gino's probably already.
I've seen a
spoiled.
GIF.
Yeah, you've seen the
You've
GIF.
seen the
where
stickers.
he goes like, ah! He seems to be having a good time.
This is all I'll say about it is that I've watched season 3. I think this is maybe my 4th time rewatching season 3, and it's still good. Like, it's still like the anticipation and like the like emotional stuff that you get from the characters still hits. Like, I'm still here being like, I'm so proud of them.
Still getting those payoffs. All that planning and payoff.
The plants and payoffs. I'm literally so impressed by this creator. Like, I don't think I could keep track of all that. Planting something in season 1 and having it pay off at the end of the manga is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm routinely impressed that they show you like every single play. Like every single point landed. Like I can't really think
Actually,
of...
no, there's one moment in season 3 where they skip one of the sets. And it confused me for a second. I was like, wait, who wins this set? Wait, I thought they won this set. And I was like, oh, right, they did skip a set because it was like too long.
No, you got to play it out. I want to see every set. I got to see every spike.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good. So I'm very excited to talk about it very soon.
Hooray.
Hooray!
Hooray!
After Haikyuu was the Guardians of Ga'Hoole.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
I've thought about them.
Well, did you finish your chart? We can talk about your chart.
I did. How are we going to do this? It's a visual thing.
We'll post the picture on Instagram so
Yeah.
we can reference it.
Okay.
Drive
Yeah.
engagement to
Okay. While Jino gets his computer, I will also highlight somebody corrected something for us, which is in the episode we talked about how Ezelribe, who's like, what was it, like the librarian or no, he's one of the leaders of the Chaws, and he's the one missing a talon, and then like Soren and Gylfi are always like, what's up with that talon?
this freak without a single talent.
Yeah. So in the episode, because we looked up on Wikipedia and we were like, oh, Ezelribe like lost the talon in like a war with the Pure Ones. But this person said that actually that was made up for the movie. So the Wikipedia was probably referencing that storyline in the movie. But in reality, he was a soldier in the War of the Ice Claws, which is like a whole unrelated conflict. And after his mate was killed in the war, he eventually went to Ga'Hoole to become a teacher. And that's why he changed his name to Ezlaribe. So, they said the war had nothing to do with the Guardians of Ga'Hoole or the Pure Ones. That was invented for the film. He broke his talon in the war. I'm assuming this means like the War of the Ice Claws in the book, but he bit it off himself.
Yeah, go ahead. Read the 2 faction names that I know are in that comment.
Oh, it was the...
I just want you to have to...
It was the Killian League versus the Ice Talon League.
See, this is the thing about books, right? Especially long-running books like this, is that the lore will just kind of spin off in various directions. Especially Guardians of Ga'Hoole, in which book 1 is like not even having anything to do with Ga'Hoole, like at all. It's just, let's show you this weird cult on the side of the map.
There are a lot of owl cults. That's what we've realized.
Yeah, we didn't get as far as we hoped to in those books ultimately. Though I do want to say now, in case I hadn't clarified it in that episode, that I really did like these books when I was younger, and I went through and I really enjoyed the setting of the Great Ga'Hoole Tree. It had a lovely atmosphere, and the contentions between the different owls I really enjoyed. I think even later, just in this core series, there's all kinds of interesting political machinations that go on at the Ga'Hoole Tree that cause their own issues, and on it goes.
I honestly am way more invested in what happens at the Ga'Hoole Tree than like what happens like beyond with the Pure Ones or whatever.
Yeah.
Like we said, we really want Downton Snakey, which is just a story about the snakes who live at the Ga'Hoole Tree.
I would do a lot for Downton Snakey, to be real.
Yeah.
Speaking of a society living in an animal society, so as promised in one of these episodes,
In the Ga'Hoole episode,
I have created one of those like meme graphs with an XY axis, and I've placed all of the animal societies that we have talked about on this show on this graph. The x-axis, left, right, the left side being eating berries off the ground, and the right side being nuclear fusion. Can't say that freaking word, George Bush.
I like it.
And then the y-axis at the top, we live in a society, and at the bottom, no gods, no kings. Basically, on this graph, you can place an animal society based on their level of technology and the complexity of their society. I'm saying complexity in a kind of a broad sense rather than maybe a more like
Bureaucratic sense?
like the Western conception of like,
you have departments for things and...
well, yes, but also like the idea that like, tribes are less complex than towns, less complex than cities. No, I'm thinking more of like the political complexity of like, do you have different factions vying for power? Are there like negotiations and trade and stuff? Like one, quote, complex city, like in isolation, is less complex than 24, quote, simple tribes with a complicated political system and trades and feuds between them. So I would rate the tribes above the one city by itself. I'm going to try to explain a picture.
Again, if you want to see this picture, we'll post it on our Instagram and Tumblr.
And it's not locked in. I'm just doing vague approximations, and maybe you guys can
We could maybe
agree,
debate
disagree.
a little, yeah.
So follow along on your, I don't know, Instagram or however you're accessing the posted picture. We'll give you some time to find it now. What's that tag? Nostalgia Club Podcast at gmail.com.
Our Instagram is at Nostalgia Club Podcast, and our Tumblr is MouseKnight. I guess I'll post on the MouseKnight account.
Just spam it everywhere we
Our
got
followers will be like, what is this?
Head to the Ghost
MouseKnight
Inspector's
Studios.
feed to see this. Okay, all the way in the top right. We live in a society with nuclear fusion. Arthur, obviously. It's basically just our world, but they're animals.
Yeah.
B-movie. They live in our world. They have their own separate animal society, but they have cars and
Jobs
and taxes.
It's a whole situation.
Yeah.
They have factories. They theoretically have the technology to mimic ours. They're living in a sort of a different kind of system, honey-based.
We have a strictly honey-based economy around here.
Yeah. And then representing Sharktail, the shrimp, whose sister had a baby. Again, it's kind of just our world, but underwater with like fish accommodation.
Yeah.
So they could theoretically match our tech level, but they don't have to in some cases.
I mean, they have
It's a-
TVs and cameras and everything.
Yeah.
But
they
it
don't have,
is
like,
a lot looser than the B movie, for example.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like they've created the facades of things, of buildings, and well, I guess there's no vehicles. It's just fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's yeah.
I place them on the same level technology-wise as the B movie, but the B movie's society is more complex because they're not only interacting with themselves, but also with humans
Yeah.
and theoretically bears, which also were established to have a society in that movie. Okay, a little bit to the left, a little bit less complex technology-wise. I put Narnia.
True.
Yeah.
This is a weird one.
We debated this for a while because we were like, they don't wear clothes.
Right. They don't wear clothes. Some
they
of them
do-
are just animals.
Yeah, but they do bake.
Yeah.
They make food. And Mrs. Beaver has a sewing machine. So that means they have technology.
They seem to imitate like 1940s British society, and they seem to match that tech. They have electricity, but not all of them do. And many of them are just animals.
Mm-hmm.
But they definitely have gods and kings. So they live in a society, and their tech is confusing and questionable. Just under that, red wall, medieval level tech with a complicated political structure.
Mm-hmm.
Under that, the Guardians of the Ga'Hoole. They also have a complicated political structure, but their tech is sort of like, we'll have this, but not that.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this in the Guardians of Ga'Hoole episode. They have metallurgy, but not furniture.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
owls. They're more owlish than like the red wall mice are mice-ish.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Similar to the bears in Golden Compass.
Yeah.
In a
Yeah.
way.
Speaking of the bears and golden compass, heading over to the top left quadrant. We live in a society, but we're eating berries off the ground. The bears are, again, they have metallurgy, and they live in like a group, and they interact with, a vast array of political structures, but they don't seem like super invested in it or interested in it. And the metallurgy seems to be the limit of their tech, and they don't seem to be interested in like, they live in a building, but like, did they build the building? We don't know.
No, yeah, like the whole point is that they're still very much bears because when
Yofer.
when Yofer takes over and starts like making them try to be human, they're like really bad at it. So like the place ends up being a mess and all that stuff.
I placed Despero above the bears society-wise, but less tech-wise. Their tech is all based on scavenging human stuff,
Yeah.
but they do modify it,
Yeah.
which is an important distinction.
But their society is much more complex than the bears because they have like rituals for like throwing mice
Yeah.
in the dungeon, I guess.
Their external society, who they interact with, is less complex than the bears, but their internal society is
Yeah.
much more complex. The bears are like, we have a leader, we eat. Sometimes we fight for the leader position. But the mice have like, oh, if you break our laws, you're banished. That's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have like a little council and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and when you're banished, there's little mice with little executioner caps that lead you away.
Yeah. So they're crafting using human stuff, but they're not necessarily like forging.
Yeah.
Left of them on the berry spectrum, but higher on the society spectrum, all of the underland animals. They don't really like have any crafting ability, like most of them don't, but their society is incredibly complex.
Yeah.
And then left of that, almost all the way to just eating berries off the ground, with about the same society level as Ga'Hoole, I put the warrior cats. They have one instance of crafting, which is evil jewelry. And they have a very complex society, but not castles and lords, more like fire stars yelling at Shadow Clan or whatever. Yeah.
Deputies and
I guess it's true, like, in terms of, like, inter-animal conflicts, like, Ga'Hoole and Warrior Cats is similar because it's, like, the Ga'Hooleans are fighting the pure ones, and then the Warrior Cats are infighting between clans and whatnot.
Yeah, but at least the Ga'Hooleans have, like, a proper feudal system. They have a vague feudal system.
That's true. They have more of, like, a job system than in Warrior Cats.
Yeah,
Warrior Cats, like, they have warriors and medicine cats, but
yeah, the Ga'Hoolean system seems like this is just from our limited sort of visitation, but it seems almost more like some kind of like a guild.
Yeah.
I feel like in a
They
way.
seem to have some kind of, I don't know if economy is the right word, but like At the very least, because they can fly, their reach is bigger.
Yeah.
So they're in contact with more societies.
Yeah.
Like warrior cats are limited to wherever they are.
Mm-hmm.
So their society, by definition, cannot be as complex.
Yeah.
But only just.
Only just. Their investment, it feels like, is all the more thickly rooted because it's, there's less ground that they cover. There's less like, oh yeah, these, the warrior cats aren't like, yeah, these cats who are vaguely over here in this wide stretch of woods. It's like, no, it's the Wind Clan clats that are specifically up on that ledge.
Yeah, I can see them. They're making fun of us. Okay, almost done. Bottom left quadrant, eating berries and no gods, no kings. Aladar, they're just dinosaurs. They have like someone who's in charge of the group, but beyond that, they're just dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I put Click Clack Moo here because I thought it was funny. They use human tech.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to have a total understanding of that tech, but they do not make anything of their own. They need everything brought to them.
Yeah.
But the concept of a union exists,
Mm-hmm.
so they are above Aladar because they've unionized. Above that, Ratatouille, their society, we only really get the one rat group,
Yeah.
and they seem to have jobs maybe, but the only two jobs we see are food tester and
Garbage gatherer.
garbage gatherer, and I guess the third job being, 4 jobs: food tester, garbage gatherer, musician, and leader.
Oh yeah, the musicians.
I mean, the musician thing could be a part-time. Could be pure voluntary.
We just don't have enough information.
Side gig.
And they absolutely refuse, at least at first, to interact with the outside world.
Yeah.
So their outside society is non-existent. Their internal society seems vaguely complex, and they're crafting.
They are crafting.
They are crafting. They're not making anything of their own, but they're crafting using human stuff. I put Alvin and the Chipmunks all the way down at no gods, no kings, but nuclear fusion because they seem incredibly powerful, but they don't answer to anyone. And that scares me.
That inclusion was the most unsettling to me. Seeing
They're
you like
all
land
over,
them
they're
right.
in that quadrant by themselves too.
Here's the thing. Like, these are 3 children, but they are completely sentient. And I guess the Chipettes too, 3 kids. Who knows what they'll be like when they grow up?
Ooh.
Who knows if they'll follow orders? Who knows if they have a hierarchy? Are there more chipmunks? Is there a chipmunk society? We don't know. We don't know what it's like. So no gods, no kings. But I mean, I can see them 3D printing a gun.
Simon's pretty smart.
Simon's pretty smart. We need to be afraid of these chipmunks. Finally, directly in the center of the graph is the Madagascar animals. On one hand, they're just animals. On the other hand, Circus Afro. Afro Circus.
Yeah.
And I can't contend with that. So they're going right in the center.
Yeah.
Because what does that mean?
It's basically like if you just did the first 2 movies, they'd be like pretty much like all the way to the
They
left,
have a society and they're capable of using human tech, but they don't seem very interested in it beyond like, oh, this is convenient to me at this moment.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't forget
I would
Marty's
argue the
big
penguins-
hotel lounge thing that he made on the beach of
that's
Madagascar.
true.
Yeah, so they're crafting.
That's true, yeah.
They're crafting. But they don't need to.
Yeah.
It's not a part of their culture. That's just like Marty being Marty.
Yeah.
The lemurs do craft a little bit, but they're mostly just using what's there. And they have a society, but the society is King Julian yells at them and they cheer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when they like try and repair that plane, it like they get it in the air with cartoon physics long enough to get somewhere.
Yeah.
But that's
What about the penguins?
The penguins, I should add the penguins to
The
this. 'cause
penguins need
they
to be
exist
near nuclear
outside.
fusion.
Because they, again,
They do create a
literally-
new
You're right. Oh, so okay, I'm going to add
I
the
think
penguins.
actually the penguins need to be with no gods, no king. They need to be with the chipmunks
The penguins do need to be with the chipmunks.
because they also don't really have a society.
They have a
It's just
hierarchy
like-
though.
That's true. So maybe they're like slightly down.
They would be just above the chipmunks because
I
they don't
think-
really answer to anyone, but they do have Skipper who's in charge.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, then I'm moving the chipmunks to the bottom center to represent the fact that they could make a bomb, but we
But they
don't know they
haven't yet.
will. But they haven't yet. But the penguins are taking the chipmunks' place because they have made a bomb, and we know they will again.
Yeah. That feels right.
Yeah.
But they don't answer to anyone.
Yeah.
I will make this update and then we'll post it.
Yay.
Thank you for your time.
That was fun.
What's next?
The next one and the last one we're going to cover in this episode is the Goose Girl.
The Goose Girl. I'm so excited. I hope we get to cover more Goose Girl stuff in the future.
We could. I wanted to read Enna Burning before this episode to report back on general vibes, but I didn't have time.
Reading a lot of books.
Yeah.
I am reading a lot of books. I'm so down to do more Goose Girl episodes if you guys want to.
Yeah. Or at the very least, media that is like the Goose Girl and its
Other
aesthetic
Shannon
and
Hale
messaging.
books. I just love
Yeah.
Shannon Hale. Like, what a great writer.
Oh, yeah. I think we even talked about this, like specifically her clarity in her prose, the way she could say something beautifully, but also just like so concisely. And you think that she actually said it in more words, but it was actually less.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I don't think we have any more Goose Girl thoughts, really.
It sort of speaks for itself.
Yeah. I mean, my only hope is that more people will listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, read the book and listen to our episode. But, like, please just read these books because they're really fantastic. I think, like, not as many people know about these books as, like, some of the other things that we've covered. But they're just really wonderful. And it's a really cozy and good read. So I just recommend checking it out if you're interested.
You know, except for the part where the horse dies.
Yes, warnings for some sad horse stuff.
Decapitation.
Yeah.
I was in denial so long.
Wait, Michael
over
made
that.
a really funny meme.
Oh, I took that meme of the guy like applying clown makeup, and it was just like I captioned it with basically my process of just denying that Falada was like dead.
I pinned it in our Discord.
We'll post that one too.
We'll post it. The first one is, Falad is not dead. He was moved to another stable. The second one with more clown makeup is, Falad is not dead. Garrick was confused in his letter to Annie. The third one, Falad is not dead. That was a different horse corpse we saw. And the final one with full clown makeup, Falad is not dead. His taxidermy dad just said Annie's name. Rough.
Yeah. One thing I do love about the Goose Girl in particular is that it is like, since it is a series and it has its own sort of, well, I guess I don't know for sure, but it seems like it's going in a direction where we're getting some sort of progression of understanding aspects of the world and Annie, side characters, and magic and all this stuff working towards some sort of like conclusion of a, 4-part story made up into self-contained arcs. What's nice about it is that it's the kind of thing where I feel like you could present it to another person or say like a kid if you had one and be like, here, this is a nice series that you can like dive into and enjoy, or depending on how young they are, like I could read to you this book series. But unlike certain other series, it's like the hope is in, I hope they like this book alone and not like something akin to a Marvel or a Star Wars or any other series you can name where it's like there's an extra layer of, I hope you like the original trilogy of Star Wars and also the wider IP that is like inexorably attached to it. This bloated, gigantic thing with more content than you could ever hope to get
That's true.
through.
Like, I would say if you just read The Goose Girl and you didn't read any of the other books, that's still fine. Like, it's still a very satisfying story on its own. And obviously, if you love the world, then it's like, great, there's even more stuff from this world that I can explore. But it's also like, if you're just content to close the book on Annie's journey, that's totally fine too.
There's something extremely valuable in something being contained, something having an end.
Yeah.
At the same time, I think it's fun that we have these things out there that can just be someone's Roman Empire and they can live in it forever. Just Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars.
Well, I feel much the same way about the Penderwicks too. Yeah, it's just you can have this self-contained series and be like, I hope you like this thing.
I don't know, Michael. After I read the first Penderwicks book, I was like, I have to read the next 4 immediately.
Well, no, that's what I
And then
mean.
yeah.
I'm not talking about.
I know.
I'm not talking about the Goose Girl alone or the first Penderwicks book
Yeah.
alone. I am talking about the series like as a whole, but I just mean like there's no like extended universe for either of these that goes off in a billion directions and like. I don't know. Like, this isn't so much about the nature of the work itself as much as it is about the expectations of, like, presenting it, perhaps, to someone and being like, maybe you should get into this thing. And also all the rest of this as well over here.
The ending makes it special.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think. Less overwhelming. It's nice to know that something's been, like, crafted and presented to you as, like, a special gift.
Yeah.
And, it's not overwhelming.
And because of the craftedness of it, the Goose Girl is going to go a little bit right on the Madagascar on the dumb joke.
Oh, yeah, on the quadrant.
On the quadrant, on the graph.
Animal Society.
Yeah.
Well, those are really animals.
Yeah.
No, the goose are just animals.
Yeah,
They're
that's-
going all the way down at the bottom left corner.
Berries off the ground.
berries off the ground, don't know what a stick is.
Don't know what a god or a king is.
It's true.
Bear!
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 You making fun of my read of Bear?
No, it's really funny. It's really good. I just had to listen to that clip a lot when I was editing.
Bear!
I apologize.
It's
No, it's great.
fantastic.
Well, thank you so much for listening to this recap episode. Join us next week where we cover the rest of the season. And stay tuned for season 5 when we talk about even more amazing books and series. And if you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a rating and subscribing, following us on Instagram at nostalgicapodcast, or you can email us at nostalgicapodcast@gmail.com. We also post about our other shows at MouseKnight Studios on Tumblr, Blue Sky, and Instagram. And until next time.
Tune in for part 2. You don't get it until next time until you listen to the whole
That's
thing.
true, yeah. Goodbye.
No gods, no kinks.